Well, a new study says that President Joe Biden's poll numbers are slightly on the rise. According to yesterday's Real Clear Politics average, the president's approval rating now sits at 42%. Around a month ago, it was less than 37%. But can the president continue the momentum, and what does it mean for Democrats heading into the midterm elections? We go now to Tom Bevan, co-founder and president of Real Clear Politics. Tom, good to see you as always. So what do you make of these numbers, and what do you think is behind the rise in the president's approval rating?
Well, it's obviously good news for Joe Biden and the Democrats for his approval rating to be going up. 42% is still not great by historical standards, and still probably represents a real issue for a lot of Democrats around the country when they go to when they face voters in November. But it's better than 37%, as you mentioned, which is where he was at just 5 weeks ago. Mostly, it's Democrats coming home. Mostly Democrats who were not happy with the Biden administration are back on board after passing the CHIPS bill, after passing the revised version of Build Back Better, and his executive order on student loan forgiveness, which was a big want from the progressive wing of the party. So all of that explains why his approval rating is back up above 40%.
Yeah, I'm curious. I mean, how much of a factor are poll numbers when it comes to the actual outcome of election? I mean, do you think they're really good indicators of how people will turn out and vote?
Traditionally, presidential job approval has been one of the strongest indicators in terms of how the party will perform in the midterm election. It makes sense. If the person who is the leader of the party, who is in power, is doing a good job, people think that he's doing a good job, he or she, then they will vote for the party. And if he or she is not doing a good job, they'll vote against the party. Traditionally, historically, the first term for the in party has been rough, and that is certainly how it looks for Democrats now. But there's no question, to the extent Biden's job approval rating goes up, these Senate candidates around the country, these incumbent Democrats, have a better chance of winning if Joe Biden's job approval rating is higher. They're just simply not going to outperform his job approval rating by 5 or 6 or 7%. Particularly when Republican candidates will be tying those Democrats directly to Joe Biden and his agenda.
Yeah, I want to switch gears slightly here. Eric Rosales, our Capitol Hill correspondent, he's in Arizona right now, and he's covering the races there. Talk to us about why Arizona matters so much in the midterms, and how do you see those races shaking out?
Well, Arizona is one of the perennial swing states now. It used to be not that way. It was heavily Republican for a long time. But as more folks have moved in from California and other states into the Phoenix area and the suburbs surrounding Phoenix, it has become a real battleground. And obviously, at the presidential level, it was decided by 10,000, 12,000 votes. So it is about as close and as evenly divided as you could be. And these elections reflect that. You have the incumbent Senator Mark Kelly. Most recent poll shows him up by about 4% over the Republican nominee Blake Masters. But we had a poll come out yesterday, a Trafalgar poll, showing Kari Lake ahead of Katie Hobbs by 1 percentage point. So that just gives you a sense of how close these races are going to be. There will be a ton of money spent there in the coming weeks, and one of the most closely watched Senate and governor's races in the country.
Tom, before I let you go, quickly want to talk about a story that's been grabbing headlines lately. A top FBI agent recently left his post, apparently accused of political bias in the handling of Hunter Biden's laptop. What more do you know about this, and what do you think this signals?
Well, I only know the public reports is that he was walked out of the FBI. Some say he abruptly resigned and then was shown the door. This was great reporting by the Washington Times yesterday. We'll find out more, but we are learning that the Hunter Biden laptop story, not only did media organizations social media organizations censor this, and mainstream media organizations like the New York Times and Washington Post flatly ignore this story. But now we're finding out that the FBI was behind this, issuing warnings, we learned, to Facebook and others, saying that this could be a dump of Russian disinformation. We know that's not true. We know the laptop has actually been verified. So we're learning more that the FBI played a role in trying to get this story censored and suppressed. And that, according to a lot of Republicans and Trump supporters, is election interference.
All right, we're going to leave it right there. Tom, thank you so much, as always, for your insights. Always appreciate it.
Thank you, Tracy.